0 plus 0 is equal to 0, says Amit Shah, the BJP chief, and he said that at the Gandhi Maidan in Patna as he blew the poll bugle for Bihar elections. And Bihar elections, the big litmus test for this coalition of 6 coming together. They have been bitter adversaries in the past, but now a common threat, the BJP. Narendra Modi is bringing them together. Joining me now on the broadcast, Sharad Pradhan, senior journalist. He joins us from Lucknow. Dr. Sambit Patra is the national spokesperson of the BJP. With me in the studio is Javed Ansari. Sharad Pradhan, I want to come to you first. What is in this for Mulayam Singh Yadav? Because he's seen as the chief of this new coalition. Their first test actually is Bihar.
Yeah. They're very, very true. You know, basically, the impact of this new coalition, the third Janata Avatar, as you rightly call it, will be visible only after the Bihar elections. But Mulayam Singh Yadav is the person who stands to gain most out of it, because you know, in real terms, it may not mean much, but it notionally and it means a lot, because Mulayam's intent by you know, bringing all these people together is to send a message to Muslims. Yeah, and Mulayam, you know, targets the Muslim constituency in a very big way, because he would want to retain the Muslim vote bank in totality. Okay. That will make a lot of difference, and that he can do by giving this message that here is a force which alone can fight the BJP. You know, because otherwise it means nothing to Uttar Pradesh. In physical terms, in terms of numbers, all these political parties which have come together have no meaning in Uttar Pradesh. But it sends a message, a notional message, that look here, all these forces are with me. It is not Mayawati. It is not the Congress is already down in the dumps. It's me, the Samajwadi Party, and this whole big group which is going to fight the BJP.
Okay,
which in turn is in the hope that that will consolidate the Muslim votes in favor of Mulayam.
So Mulayam does this for the Muslim votes. As far as Nitish Kumar is concerned, as far as Lalu Yadav is concerned, Javed, this is a desperate fight, a desperate attempt just to remain, you know, important in Bihar, because divided, they fell in Bihar, whether it was in the assembly elections or in the Lok Sabha elections.
Gaurav, the stakes for Nitish and Lalu are much higher than that for Mulayam, or for that matter, any of the other leaders of the erstwhile constituents. It's very important. It's a question of their survival in Bihar. They've fought separately and realized that they don't measure up. Therefore, the only way out of this existential crisis for them is if they unify, if they unite and fight together. In their earlier avatar, they had formed the government. They formed the government on more than one occasion. Therefore, together they hope that, you know, the Yadavs, the Koiris, the minorities, everybody will come together, and they'll form a formidable wall against the BJP there in Bihar. It's not just the challenge for the BJP.
Yes.
It's also bad news for the Congress party, because in the heartland, at least in UP and Bihar, these people, like Sharad was saying, they will be seen as the primary force which is taking on the BJP and not the Congress.
Okay. Will the Congress in Bihar perhaps become a part of this coalition? That remains to be seen. But Sambit, in the Rajya Sabha, this coalition, this Janata Parivar has 30 seats, and the challenge is not just in Bihar. They pose a big challenge for the BJP, even in Rajya Sabha.
No, in fact, in Rajya Sabha, we had seen that most of these forces were against the Bharatiya Janata Party. And in fact, only recently, when the land acquisition bill was voted, the land acquisition bill issue had come up, most of them had rallied along with the Congress party to show that they were not with us. And this has been happening since 2014. But when subsequent 2 bills, be it the coal bill or the mines bill, were put into voting, we had seen that most of them had voted in favor of the bill, whereas the Congress and the left had walked out. So in fact, in Rajya Sabha, with the development agenda that this government is working with, most of the parties cannot feel that they would be left out in competitive federalism if they do not stand with the bills. As far as Bihar is concerned, I would say that this is a story from desperation to destruction. In 2014, after these parties lost out to Bharatiya Janata Party in a very bad way, without getting arrogant, I would say that was a story of desperation of most of this party. Out of this desperation, today they are merging. They are merging by destroying their ideologies. There was a time time when Nitish Kumar had called on the RJD that RJD and Lalu Prasad Yadav was the one which was responsible for Jungle Raj in Bihar. And today when the same Nitish Kumar is sitting on the lap of Lalu Prasad Yadav, it only points to the fact that it is all because of their ambitions which are dwindling at the fastest possible rate.
No, but Samvit, are you being arrogant here? Samvit, are you being arrogant? Because when they came together, and if we look at the 10 by-poll seats, they had 6 and the BJP had 4. So it is a force to reckon with. Are you being arrogant, Samvit?
Not at all. We are not being arrogant, and as I spoke, in fact, I said that in fact this is a story of desperation to destruction. And if you look into the confidence issue as well, the Bharatiya Janata Party is doing well, and these political parties which are merging together, in fact, because they are not confident of fighting together, they've lost their confidence, and that's the reason as to why they have destroyed their own ideology to come together to form a unit, because only together they feel a bit confident. So we are definitely confident and rightly confident, not arrogant, whereas they are the ones who have lost their confidence, and that is the reason as to why they are coming together, though none of these 6 leaders will see an eye to eye with each other.
Okay, but Javed, is the BJP president Amit Shah being overconfident? Is he being arrogant when he says Laluji 0 plus 0 equals to 0?
Look, I can't expect Amit Shah to praise this combination, but certainly whether they turn out to be 0 or at the end of the day they turn out to be heroes, we'll know once the elections are over. But on paper, this is a formidable alliance. This is they will present a formidable challenge to the BJP, and therefore I think the best course for Mr. Amit Shah obviously is to try and wish them away, saying that 0 plus 0 will end up with 0. But we'll know at the end of the day what happens.
Okay. Also joining me now is Rajdeep Sardesai, a consultant editor. Rajdeep, is this just Modi phobia? Is this just BJP phobia that's bringing these 6 regional satraps together? Or is there another agenda that will act as a glue to bind them together?
My sense, Gaurav, is at one level you're absolutely right. There is a Modi phobia. Let's be clear. When I interviewed, interestingly, Lalu just about 6 months ago, he said कि बड़े दुश्मन को हराने के लिए कभी-कभी छोटे दुश्मन के साथ समझौता करना पड़ता है. To defeat the big enemy, you sometimes have to make a compromise with your lesser enemy. And I think that's what's happened between Lalu and Nitish. Look, there's a lot of bad blood. Yes. There's no love lost between the two. They've realized that in the short term, for their very survival, they need to tie up with each other. This is a survival game which is being played out. Now, the interesting thing is, if it works in Bihar, then you may have the makings of some kind of a grand anti-Modi alliance. Clearly, what has brought them together 25 years or 1977, anti-Indira brought them together.
Yes.
In the 80s, it was anti-Congressism and specifically against Rajiv Gandhi and Bofors. And today, they are coming together because of the fear of Modi. The Janata Party has often provided the third alternative when either the BJP or the Congress becomes so strong that they fear for their political future and then come together. So, you're absolutely right. I think this is being done largely driven by the immediate Bihar challenge and the fear of Modi sweeping Bihar.
Sharad, but if we look at history, as Rajdeep was rightly pointing out, whether it was anti-Indira Gandhi when it was Morarji Desai, or whether it was anti-Rajiv Gandhi when it was Vishwanath Pratap Singh, none of these coalitions lasted a full 5-year tenure. In fact, Morarji Desai perhaps lasted 2 years, the Janata Dal, Chaudhary Charan Singh 6 months, VP Singh 11 months,
less than 2 years,
Chandrasekhar 7 months, IK Gujral 6 months. So that hate agenda may get them to power, but they're unable to stay on. Will this be different?
No, I don't think this will probably be worse than weaker than what we have seen in the past. First, because it is not in the first in 1977, even BJP was with them.
Yes.
The whole anti-Indira movement led by Jayaprakash Narayan, and in the 80s it was Vishwanath Pratap Singh. Today there is no such leader of their stature. Yes. First of all. And secondly, all of these people, it didn't last earlier also because everybody was so ambitious. And in this case, it is worse because neither is any one of them doesn't have the stature of Vishwanath Pratap Singh or of Jayaprakash Narayan or Morarji Desai. Today, they are regional purely regional satraps and who are very, very ambitious, each one looking to become, hoping to become prime minister. So I don't see, first of all, I don't see them reaching anywhere close to what happened in the 80s or the 70s.
No, that's a very interesting
because
point.
Because of the simple reason, because of simple arithmetic that none of them have that kind of clout with the electorate even in their own states.
So, Rajdeep,
and Bihar is going to be the test case.
Are they spent force? Because at least in case of two, Lalu cannot contest elections himself for 6 years. Om Prakash Chautala cannot contest elections. Corruption cases against them. Convicted people.
No, I think Sharath makes a good point that there isn't the kind of national leader of stature, Gaurav, that you had with a VP Singh in the 1980s or Jaiprakash Narayan. Certainly, even the moral pressure that the moral stature of a Jaiprakash Narayan, that's out of the question. That's the big difference, I think, between what happened in the 1970s and 80s and what's happening today. Indian politics has changed in a tectonic manner, and many of these leaders are now seen as rank opportunists. Then they were seen as figures of hope. They even represented a certain sense of idealism. In the 80s, they represented the real power of the Mandal revolution. Now, over the years, some of that idealism has dissipated. So I don't think they can take the moral high ground. But what is happening, and I repeat it, it's a question of survival. It's Bihar today. Yes. The one person who may lose out in this is Mulayam. Because in UP, the politics become very different because Mayawati is there. There are other factors that come in. Their entire game plan is how do we prevent the division of the anti-Modi vote. Now that's their limited goal in Bihar. What happens in Uttar Pradesh? We don't know. So whether this alliance will last and how long it will last, a big question mark. I'll give you one saying in Bihar. Yes. They say every 5 years, in some form or the other, the Janata Parivar comes together, and every 3 years, it disappears. So it's a peculiar kind of family that comes together at least before a major election in some form or the other, and then finds its exit route somewhere in that period of 5 years.
And Javed, in the past, as Rajdeep was rightly pointing out, for Vishwanath Pratap Singh, they said, Raja nahi fakir hai, desh ki takdeer hai. At that point of time, Rajiv Gandhi's popularity was going downhill because of the Bofors scandal. VP Singh used to roam around with saying that I have the Swiss bank account number in my pocket. Today, isn't the situation very different? Can Rajiv Gandhi and Narendra Modi's popularity, can they even be compared?
Well, at this moment of time, no, but then nothing remains constant. Who is to say that Mr. Narendra Modi's popularity will continue as it is in the years to come? We've already seen, and in the India Today poll shows that there is a downslide. A slight downslide, but the downslide has started in 9 months' time. So who's to say what will happen in a year or 2 years from now? But the projection, their main aim at the moment, priority is Bihar, not Delhi. Priority is Bihar. They believe that the social arithmetic that Lalu Yadav and Nitish Kumar bring with them will form a very formidable challenge to the BJP there.
Respond to that, Samvid. The Muslim Yadav combine, when they come together.
It's not just the Muslim Yadav combine, it's the Koiris, the Kurmis.
Yes, and that is where Nitish plays a very important role. For the BJP, Bihar is going to be a big challenge, and especially after the complete rout in Delhi, Samvid Patra.
Gaurav, a very important issue over here is, the premise within which we are debating is taking into the view that probably in Uttar Pradesh and in Bihar, the equations of caste and religion are very important as far as the arithmetics of voting and arithmetics of politics is concerned. Well, to an extent, this is absolutely right, but the jinx has been broken only in the recent past. In 2014, we had seen the kind of success that Bharatiya Janata Party got in Uttar Pradesh, a state which would have similar kind of arithmetics as far as caste, creed and religion is concerned, as compared to Bihar. But over here we broke the jinx only because of the fact that people believed there, cutting across all boundaries, people believed that Vikas, that is development, is the most important agenda, and that paradigm shift was brought in Indian politics by none other than Modi. Just a second.
What happened in the by-elections in Bihar? You lost 6 out of 10.
No, let me complete this view, and thereafter I'll just definitely go to the by-elections as well. So definitely keeping this in view, if we go to Bihar, I mean, rightly it was stated in this very debate that the people who are leading this coalition are not people of national repute. Rather, they are people of national disrepute. Whom are we comparing? We are comparing Mr. Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of the country, who is delivering on one hand, and the people of national disrepute is one of the most, first disqualified member of Parliament of India, that is Lalu Prasad Yadav. Chautala ji is behind the bars. We have seen
Chautala ji was your ally
Kumar.
till the other day.
No, no.
Chautala ji was your ally till the other day.
No, till the other
But
day, but he has gone to jail only after the whole incident happened. Till the other day was quite way back behind.
But he was indulging in all those
keeping-
misdeeds when you were a partner.
Definitely keeping all this in view, that the people of national disrepute and a confederation of losers has been formed just in order to keep development from coming into Bihar is not going to deter the people of Bihar to think otherwise.
In all this, Gaurav, I think it's boiling down to, I don't think Sambit can use 2014 as a basis for deciding what happens in a state election. I think that would be a very
Absolutely.
flawed way of looking at it. Having said that, I think he has a point. Let's be clear, a certain chemistry is there among the, that Narendra Modi had built in that election, and people wanted change. The question is, do people now again want change in a state like Bihar? Are they tired of the Nitishs and Lalus and want to see a completely new formation? In which case the chemistry will be with the BJP. But the arithmetic, and this is the fear that
Yes,
Sambit must
that's
have,
the point, yes.
is at the moment with this alliance, simply because it's just a very large grouping that can come together. It will be important to see how it works on the ground.
Yes.
It will be important to see whether if a JDU candidate doesn't get a ticket,
Does he become a rebel?
does he become a rebel? There will be the question of the Majhi factor,
Yes.
because the Mahadalits were an important component, certainly of both Lalu as well as Nitish's combined. All these are question marks. But having said that,
Yes.
for the first time, there is a sense that the opposition has realized that the only way to defeat Narendra Modi at the moment is get your arithmetic right.
And
got
which
it right.
they did in the assembly by-elections.
You see, they also got it also to some extent in Delhi. Something interesting
Yes.
happened, because the Muslim vote, all the anti-Modi vote consolidated around the Aam Aadmi Party. So the BJP didn't lose its percentage of votes,
Yes.
and yet suffered an overwhelming defeat, because the BJP's vote, particularly in Bihar, it is difficult to see it going beyond a certain threshold. Therefore, if the opposition unites, it creates a situation
That
where
36% increases.
that's right. So the BJP strategy should be to divide and rule. If I was to give Sambit Patra any advice, he should find people within the JDU, find people within the RJD who will then form their own small parties and divide this vote.
More than just the Jitan Ram Majhi that they are attempting to do.
Rajdeep, they were attempting this.
Which
They have been attempting this for the last 6 weeks. They were trying very hard to work on elements within the RJD to ensure that this
That's right.
merger did not come through.
In
Alas,
fact,
they failed.
in fact, the reports are that Lalu was one of Lalu's aides was served an enforcement directorate notice.
Absolutely.
And told very clearly that if you become part of this alliance, we will bring the mighty arm of the state against you. Now, I know Sambit may accept or deny that, and it may be speculation, but the fact is, the alliance does worry the BJP leadership. Having said that, Sambit Patra is not wrong to say that this alliance is being seen by most fence sitters at the moment as an opportunist alliance, as an alliance of some people who have been discredited over the years because of their politics. Certainly Lalu Prasad has stood discredited in the nature of the politics he has fought in Bihar. Nitish is another kettle of fish, and Sambit must tell me who is that leader of Nitish's stature whom the BJP will project as their chief ministerial candidate against Nitish. Will they make the same mistake that they did in Delhi by putting
Bringing
up
an outsider.
Kiran Bedi at the last minute? Who is that individual? Will you put up Sushil Modi, Sambit Patra to take on a Nitish Kumar? Are you ready to do that?
No, Rajdeep, as far as who the candidate would be a call taken by the parliamentary committee of the party, and we have to patiently wait.
Now
for
in the assembly
parliamentary
elections,
committee to deliver on
parliamentary
it.
party, earlier in the 2014 elections, you were blaming the Congress. You were saying that you're running scared. You don't have a leader. In Bihar, you don't have a leader. So now you're saying...
No, how do you know we are going to project or we are not going to project? I have neither denied nor have I accepted. So I have only told what a structured political party spokesperson would say, because this decision would be taken by the parliamentary board, and so none of the individuals in the party can project anything of this kind. Well,
We
before
have
the time.
Union Minister in Bihar heavyweight Ramvilas Paswan. What does he feel about this Janata Parivar merger? He's of course calling it a fruitless exercise. Ramvilas Paswan spoke exclusively to Headlines Today's Kamaljeet Sandhu. Let's listen in.
आप जनता परिवार के इस मिलन पर क्या बोलना चाहते हैं?
कुछ नहीं, ये जनता परिवार का मिलन नहीं है, ये डर के मारे सब इकट्ठा हुए हैं। और इसमें कौन है, इसमें कौन लोग हैं? वही क्या कहते हैं कि मुलायम सिंह यादव, वही लालू यादव, वही शरद यादव, तो सब तो क्या कहते हैं कि एक ही परिवार के हैं। तो जनता परिवार का, जनता परिवार में हम लोग नहीं थे क्या? बीपी सिंह के सबसे करीबी रामविलास पासवान थे।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। पर आप बात कर रहे हैं कि बिहार के चुनाव अब आने वाले हैं, किस तरह से लगता है कि इस गठजोड़ से क्या फर्क पड़ेगा बीजेपी पे, एलजेपी पे, क्या फर्क पड़ सकता है?
कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा। हम लोग सरकार बनाएंगे, एकदम 3/4 बहुमत से सरकार बनाएंगे। और जितना जो है ये हो रहा है वो इनके खिलाफ में जा रहा है। क्या करेंगे मुलायम सिंह यादव जा करके उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार में क्या करेंगे? लालू यादव उत्तर प्रदेश में क्या करेंगे? या ये आप क्या कहते हैं कि देवे गौड़ा जी का है। तो ये जो अलग अलग
सर आप ये बताइए, जो आपस में इनका मनमुटाव होगा सीट्स को लेके, बाकी लोगों के, आपको लगता है उससे फायदा आप लोगों को पहुंचेगा?
वो देखिएगा, धीरे धीरे गठबंधन जो है वो लठबंधन में परिणत हो जाएगा। चुनाव जाते आते वो गठबंधन नहीं रहेगा, लठबंधन हो जाएगा।
देखिए, आप उनके दोस्त थे, वो नीतीश उनके दुश्मन थे, आप लालू के दोस्त थे, नीतीश उनके दुश्मन थे। अब आप ये बताइए, अब तो बिल्कुल उल्टा हो गया, उलटफेर हो गया है। आपको लगता है कि
हम लोग, देखिए लालू यादव के हम कभी दोस्त नहीं रहे। जब भी सरकार में रहे, जब भी रहे, हमेशा विरोध किया। 2004 के पहले भी किया, 2004 में हम यूपीए सरकार में थे, फिर भी विरोध क्या कहते हैं करते रहे थे। लेकिन एक मतलब सिचुएशन था, उस सिचुएशन में चुनाव में गिव एंड टेक के सवाल पर हम लोग एक हुए थे। लेकिन हमने देखा कि जो उसी आधार पर हम कह सकते हैं कि इनका किसी के साथ
तो सत्ता में आ गए और वो पीछे रह गए।
वो नहीं ना, हम सत्ता में उनके साथ में रह के थोड़ के आए, उनके साथ में रहते तो 0 पर आउट हो जाते। तो इसलिए जो है ये जो उनका नेचर है, काम करने का नेचर है, वो किसी के साथ में चल नहीं सकते।
एक आखिरी सवाल, इस पूरे 6 पार्टियां हैं, लेकिन सबसे बात आ रही है मुलायम की, नीतीश की, लालू की। आपको लगता है कि ये जो 3 का तिगड़ा है ये काम कर पाएगा?
हमको नहीं लगता है। देखिए चुनाव तक आते आते मारामारी हो जाएगा। तीनों के पास में 243 सदस्यों की सूची है। आप कांग्रेस का बीच में क्यों छोड़ देते हैं? वो भी तो है उसके साथ में। तो ये जितने सबके हैं और सब कोई हर मन बनाए हुए है कि टिकट मिले या नहीं मिले, खड़ा तो होंगे ही। और जब खड़ा होगा,
देखिए एक आखिरी सवाल ये मैं पूछना चाह रही हूँ कि बीजेपी एक बार सरकार मांझी के साथ बनाना चाहती थी, वो तो नहीं हो पाया है, तो जाहिर सी बात है कहीं ना कहीं चोट या धक्का लगा है। अब आपको क्यों लगता है कि लोग जो हैं बिहार के वो बीजेपी के साथ जाएंगे, एलजेपी के साथ?
देखिए जहाँ तक जीतन राम मांझी का सवाल है, जीतन राम मांझी के प्रभाव में जो भी वोट हैं, नीतीश कुमार ने दलित महादलित के नाम पर कब्जा किया था, आज वो सारे वोट छिटक गए हैं। तो वो तो उतना क्या कहते हैं उनको घाटा हुआ है, उतना हमको तो फायदा हुआ ही है।
Rajdeep, is this easier said than done? The leadership may come together, but it's the cadre. They have hated each other. They've been adversaries. Will they be able to work together?
I think that's an important question you posed there, Gaurav. I think that's always been the challenge for any alliance. You know, an alliance can be done between leaders sitting in a room over a cup of tea, but in the end of the day, it has to involve a meeting of minds on the ground. And you're right that given the kind of backdrop of antagonisms that have existed, particularly between the JDU and the RJD in Bihar, it's not an easy alliance to cement on the ground. There will be rebels, there will be infighting, there will be leadership struggles as well. Let's be clear, at second level leaders, third level leaders, there is a lot of antagonism that exists.
Yes.
However, as I said at the outset, when you've decided that your bigger enemy is Narendra Modi, then just the fear of Modi can bring you together, and that can bind you together, and we've seen that happen. How long it lasts is another matter, but the fact is that it does offer an alternative to the voter who doesn't want to vote possibly for the BJP, and there's a large anti-BJP or non-BJP voter in Bihar. Even in the 2014 election, when the BJP did so well in Bihar, their voting percentage was still in the mid-30s.
Yes, 36%. That's
so
right.
therefore, you have a party which still faces the problem that if the anti-Modi vote consolidates, then it will have to find some other way of winning this Bihar election. It just made the Bihar election that more interesting. In my view, the BJP was the clear front runner. It still is the front runner, but now it's going to be a very close contest. Now you have an exciting election if this alliance is cemented.
Okay, and Javed, where does this leave the Congress party? Is this bad news for is this very bad news for the Congress party?
Look, in the Hindi heartland, if this combination can stick together, then they will be viewed as the primary force which can take on the BJP, not the Congress party. Congress, as it is in UP and Bihar, doesn't count for much. The best case scenario in Bihar is to be a part of a junior partner in this larger alliance that is likely to take place come the Bihar assembly elections. But in states like Rajasthan, in Madhya Pradesh, yes, the Congress still is the main force, and so therefore that space for the Congress will shift. The so-called secular space for the Congress will shrink because there will be another formidable combination in the form of this new party that will claim to occupy that space.
Okay, Sharad, when we look at some of the statements that were made in the past, it makes a very interesting reading. Like on the 31st of December in 2013, Mulayam Singh Yadav on Lalu said, वो तो कांग्रेस के तलुए चाट रहे हैं, उनकी चापलूसी कर रहे हैं. Then 14th of March, and this of course I'm taking you back a decade back, Lalu to joker hai when Musharraf had called him an artist of a politician. 13th March 2004, Lalu called Mulayam a BJP agent preventing Sonia Gandhi from becoming the Prime Minister, saying Mulayam only pays lip service to secularism. So is all of that ancient history as far as this alliance is concerned?
Gaurav, as goes the old saying, politics has strange bedfellows. So it's no surprise that, enemies of yesterday are sitting together. And in this case, Mulayam and Lalu have got together socially also. Now they have become relatives. Mulayam's grandnephew has got married to Lalu's daughter. I think that is what started. It was made the beginning of this alliance was seen from there only. And but that apart, those things are don't really matter in politics. But fact remains that you cannot guarantee that tomorrow again this will not be repeated, because once they part ways, once they see, that can happen only when there is a contest between Mulayam and Lalu for the top job in Delhi, which I don't see happening at all. Because to reach there, their first hurdle is going to be Bihar. Second, and in UP, Lalu doesn't matter. So it's that kind of a picture arises only if this alliance becomes larger, more meaningful, more formidable, that it can pose a threat to Modi in the next election.
There's news just coming in, last minute pickup.
Certainly,
Sharad, just hold on for a moment.
Certainly make an impact on the Muslim vote. It will certainly send a message that here is a more formidable force against the BJP, which will consolidate the Muslim vote in favor of this group.
Sure. You've covered the third front in its multiple avatars. You've covered Vishwanath Pratap Singh, you've covered Chandrasekhar, you've covered Inder Kumar Gujral. How is this different from the past experiences? Or past experiments?
Look, for one, like Sharad was saying, they don't have a personality like VP Singh. And they don't have an issue at the moment. VP Singh came out, positioned himself as an anti-corruption crusader. And he went around the country, made life difficult, and actually they were responsible for bringing the Congress down to its knees in UP. Congress had won 80 plus seats in the 84 elections, in the Lok Sabha elections, and they were down to 0 in the elections that followed. So subsequently, this is a very different grouping. We shouldn't talk in terms of them on a national scale. This is purely, its significance will be felt in Bihar. The real challenge for them will be Bihar, and if they can surmount those challenges, if they can sink their differences, Rajdeep was mentioning the fact that where the workers, this seamless merger integration must happen at the workers level also.
Okay, but Rajdeep, is this likely to happen given, Bihar is the test case? It's not just about Lalu and his party the JDU. Look at what Lalu and Nitish have been calling each other. Lalu described Nitish as an opportunist, said Nitish's opposition to Modi is a sham for Muslim votes. Can't rely on Nitish and Sharad Yadav for another front. This was of course 2013. Again in May 2013, Lalu said Nitish is behaving like a parrot. Nitish is a dictator. I will defeat him. Arun Jaitley says third front is a failed idea and the country can't afford to experiment with failed ideas.
Look, we can be, VP Singh once said something very interesting to me. He said the third front may be undesirable, but it is inevitable. that the Janata Parivar at the time may have been looked down upon by the mainstream parties, but at the end of the day has in some form or the other always come together, because there is that political space. There is a political space that exists. Let's be clear. These are all leaders who have 15-20% vote. These are not leaders with 3 and 4% vote.
Yes.
Mulayam and Lalu in particular, and also now Nitish, have reasonably large vote banks.
Yes.
And therefore you can't discount them. Yes, they lack the credibility that they had 20 years ago, 25 years ago. But even if they lack credibility, what they do have is a certain mass connect. And we are in an age where there are fewer and fewer mass leaders. The BJP knows, for example, that they will have to push Narendra Modi into Bihar to win voters. He is still their number one leader, even in Bihar. Their local leadership, whether it's Sushil Modi or anyone else, is going to struggle to combat both Nitish and Lalu purely in terms of charisma and personality.
And Sambit Patra, that is very crucial for the BJP. Bihar is not a cakewalk, especially with this Janata Parivar coming together. They have a sizable vote bank, and that is where it's a big challenge.
And Gaurav, I was following your reports very closely, and rightly you pointed out just now that the younger members of the Samajwadi Party are apparently unhappy over the fact that though the Samajwadi Party has to gain nothing, why is Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav being so keen? It appears that before even the marriage is solemnized, the lawyers of divorce are in fact scurrying with their papers. So we should wait whether this whole declaration still happens or not. Because in the past days, we have been seeing that every second day it was told that, well, yes, the Janata Parivar is almost at the verge of declaring itself, but they had not done so. So let's call it a day only when the sun rises. Let's wait for that. But secondly, the very important point that you were pointing out, though I would put it up in a very different sarcastic manner, you were saying that Nitish had been calling Lalu names, Lalu had been calling Nitish names, they all had been calling Mulayam names. It's not that all this must have stopped and they must be looking each other as brothers. It's only that they must be calling each other names within their minds today. It's just that the tongues are not being used. But wait for a while, how long the tongues will not be used? It's only a matter of while that the tongues will also start doing the job that they have been doing all these years. And that is when we will know whether Parivar stands the test of time or not.
Is this wishful thinking on the part of Dr. Sambit Patra?
I have a question for my friend Mr. Dr. Sambit Patra. What was Ram Vilas Paswan saying about the BJP? Your current comrade in arms.
That's right.
What was he saying 8 months ago? He said, मैं जहर का प्याला पी लूंगा लेकिन इन लोगों के साथ हाथ नहीं जोड़ूंगा. So if a Ram Vilas Paswan and Narendra Modi can be friends, I'm sure Mulayam Singh Yadav, Lalu Yadav and Nitish Kumar can also be friends.
Can I have a very humorous line on this? My line would be Ram Vilas Paswan was intelligent. Others probably were not gifted with the kind of intelligence that Ram Vilas Paswan had. He could see what's coming. The others could not see that, and now they cannot just undo what has already happened.
Okay, anytime now that press conference is going to happen, we're looking at these pictures that are coming from Mulayam Singh Yadav's residence, where the 6 top leaders of the Janata Parivar, they've met, and anytime, these are live pictures that we are getting to you from outside Mulayam Singh Yadav's residence, where this press conference is about to take place. The leaders are slowly starting to file in at this place. And what is that big announcement, Rajdeep, that's going to come out of this Bihar? How do they fight Nitish Kumar, the chief ministerial candidate?
I don't think they will make that announcement. I think the 2 announcements that are very clear, or 3 announcements. One is that we've all come together on a common platform, which will be called Samajwadi Janata Party, Janata Dal, which will be called, Samajwadi Janata Dal. The symbol will be the cycle, which is, I think, an important indicator.
It's the Samajwadi Party, sir.
Yes, but in a sense, both these parties have chosen not to choose their symbols, have chosen Samajwadi Party symbol. And there's an interesting thought there. One of the most successful schemes of this Nitish Kumar government, while it has been in power, is providing cycles to girls.
Yes.
One of his most successful schemes, particularly to girls in villages where there were no schools in the past. And maybe the cycle, they believe, will resonate with that voter, but either way, it's a sense of accepting, in a sense, Mulayam Singh as the senior partner here. And then thirdly, of course, making Mulayam Singh as a result the president of the party. It'll be interesting to see what role Sharad Yadav now plays, because he was the national convener in a sense of the JDU, or their face in Delhi. So who's going to be the face of this party in Delhi now that Mulayam Singh Yadav is becoming the party president? So there are a few issues that need to be resolved, but I think the overall sense one is getting is that these parties have decided, we are now in the month of April, we have 7 months to go to the Bihar elections. At least for these 7 months, छोड़ो कल की बातें, कल की बात पुरानी, आओ मिलकर लिखे एक नई कहानी. That's what they
government.
Whether it will result in a government and all, we don't know at this stage.
Okay.
But desperate times call for desperate measures, and I think both Lalu and Nitish in particular are rather desperate, and to some extent so is Mulayam.
Okay, Lalu, of course, for Lalu, it's an existential battle. Lalu, even in Bihar, Rajdeep plays perhaps a secondary role, a second fiddle to Nitish?
We'll have to see how that plays out. Yes, because the fact is, in terms of chief ministerial candidate, he cannot be the chief ministerial candidate. He's disqualified from contesting elections for 6 years. So I think, yes, I think Nitish will be projected in some form, not today, but in the months ahead at some stage. I think the focus will be on Nitish being projected as the chief ministerial candidate, but Lalu, knowing Lalu Prasad, is not going to take a secondary role to anyone.
Okay.
So it will have to be a partnership almost of equal.